naturalists who are out there are looking at these things and trying to read them as signs.
Well, I suppose when you're trying to do an honest investigation, you can't, and this is not a play on word, but you can't really leave any stone unturned. Looking at all of the possibilities, I mean, that to me, that's just, and to you, that's just plain, complete research. Looking at all of the possibilities to rule out the impossibilities.
Because the bottom line is that apart from human or something human-like, they're not going to do that. A squirrel's not going to come and rearrange those rocks.
No.
Just not going to do it.
Not in any logical or abstract form. They might come and run through and scatter them.
Yeah, might get knocked off. That could be done by anything.
But you're talking complete rearrangement.
Yeah, you're talking stacking them. You're talking, you know, having 3 stones sitting together and then moving them, you know, or whatever, and you're seeing different stuff done with them.
Okay. So we're talking about the possibility of Bigfoot being OCD.
Yep.
No, I understand what you're saying, and you know what?
They're leaving, you know, they're leaving gifts for him, like, you know, food, and candy, or different things, you know. Food's a little more difficult, but they try to put it up in an area where a bear couldn't get to it, or
yeah,
you know, something like that, trying to make it so that something bigger has to get it.
Well, that raises the question: are the senses of a Bigfoot possibly more sensitive than that of a bear?
I think that's part of. I think that, well, if you know, it's more, to me, I think it's more likely that they're human, meaning that they're, like we talked about, possible tribe of Indians or something.
Yeah, another culture.
I think it's more possible that they're, you know, a large species of people hidden in the woods, mountain people, than it is something else. And if that's the case, they're going to be a whole lot smarter. You're going to be dealing with humans.
Yeah, and even though they would still have the same common senses as a normal human being, in that environment they would have to be more finely tuned.
Savvy. They would know their environment. They would know, like the Indian, like the, you know, they live off the land. They know. And so, you know, a lot of, and if they do that, part of the reason you don't find their remains is they bury them. You know, there's all kinds of thought, you know, put into that. And, you know, they said, well, why haven't we seen more pictures of them on trail cameras and things like that? Well, if a Bigfoot knows what a trail camera is,
yeah,
he knows that that's strapped on a tree, he's not going to be stepping in front of it. He's not going to be.
Yep.
He's a different breed.
And from any reports that I've read, they're essentially by nature non-violent. So he wouldn't have any need. If he knows what he is, he knows what it does, he has no need to rip it off, just avoid it.
Yeah, yep. And so I think that there are a lot of answers, but I also think that it's I guess the most intriguing thing about this is, the one guy said it like this. He said, there are literally thousands of casts of footprints from this thing.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of DNA that's been taken, you know, that have come back inconclusive, come back, you know, something we don't know what it is, contaminated by humans, you know, all of this stuff that's come back. There's all kinds of eyewitness sightings. Every state, it seems, has had an eyewitness sighting. And, you know, and all you have to do, you know this as well as I do, type on YouTube and go, Bigfoot sightings in Indiana. They'll come up.
Yes.
Bigfoot sightings in Illinois. They'll come up.
Yeah, that's what I did when you first brought up this in Ohio, with Bigfoot in Ohio.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
And quite honestly, I was shocked at the results of it all. But you know, and of all of the years that technology has been developed, the still one most clear video of Bigfoot is that one taken, what, back in 1942?
Yeah.
You know, that black and white where he's actually looking back over his shoulder.
Yeah.
That's still the one that is most plausible.
Peterson, Gimlin, Peterson, whatever it was, I think. And that's the one where the one's still alive. And he still goes and talks to people about that day and what transpired. The other one has died, and on his deathbed, he swore that was, you know,
took it with him.
The real thing.
Well, with that kind of evidence for that period of time, it would be darn hard to convince him that no, I did not see it, because right there it is.
That's right.
And it is white plain.
Yeah. And I filmed it. There it is.
Yes, and even for as crude as the technology was, it is a lot more clear than a lot of your digital stuff today.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I still get really skeptical on a lot of the things that I see, because, you know, I do videos. I do a lot of outdoor videos. I know how to blur. I know how to enlarge. I know how to distort. I understand the workings of the video camera and the SLR and the film cameras, and how easy it is. Even in manual processing of film, you can still manipulate results. Ansel Adams did that a lot to get the results that he gets in black and white. So it's still too easy to grab a camera, go out there, get somebody in a monkey suit, walk around, act stupid, and I'll blur everything so nobody can really tell.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't say I don't believe, I don't believe, I don't disbelieve.
Right.
I have not had enough proof to say yes, but I'm not going to argue somebody saying yes. I won't tell them no. So, because there's just too many good arguments on both sides of the fence. There's a lot of evidence that weighs in favor of.
Oh, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. You've got all these eyewitness sightings. You've got all these footprints. The guy said, here's the bottom line. Either every one of these are frauds. Every one of them. Or, if there is one that's legitimate, there is a Bigfoot.
Yes.
If there's just one.
And when you look at it in that sense, I would say since almost yearly or bilingually or every 5 years they're coming up with an undiscovered species from out of places where man really has not been, and I still will say that it is possible that there are.
Sure.
It's just that I personally have not encountered one.
Yeah, and I've had an experience with one in Kentucky, but not to the point that I saw it, but it was very intriguing.
Well, I would agree. I mean, I wouldn't even classify that as a sapling, but to have been bent over and to have a splinter break like that, you have to have all the force at the narrower end to pull down. Now, this is what I was saying earlier on the way up here, that a cable and a set of chain falls would give you that force to pull that over, to make that a mock sign. But I'm still not saying it is.
Right.
It could very well be. In this area, and I'll say one more time, there have been sightings. So this might be one that, you know, we just walk under and say, well, you know, storm. But when you examine it, what kind of a storm is going to put that kind of a break and bend on it? We didn't get to accomplish our mission. No Bigfoot, no signs. We had a really great walk. Got to cover some new territory here. So for right now, this is Jack signing off from Cuyahoga Valley National Park. Thanks for watching.